Hello class, welcome to StudyWave Academy, where education is without limits. Welcome to our English class, and today we're going to be discussing a very important topic, a sweet topic, and this topic is on speech work. Now, when you hear speech work, or when you hear the word speech or work, or just this word, the way it is, speech work, what comes into your mind? Like, what is the thing, or what is the first thing that pops into your mind when you hear the word speech work? So this is what we're going to be discussing today and learning today. And as you know, before I begin any of my classes, I make sure that I discuss each and every word. So we will discuss what a speech is, what speech work is, just to get to understand what is this topic, or what are we going to be learning and doing. Okay, so we're going to be learning on speech work and what speech work entails. So let's start with what is speech work. What is this speech work that we're talking about? What does it entail? What is it all about? So this is what we're going to be discussing today. Now, speech work typically refers to activities or coursework related to developing and improving one's speaking and communication skills. Again, speech work typically refers to activities or coursework related to developing and improving one's speaking and communication skills. Now, everything that we'll do under this topic will enable you become or develop your speaking skills and develop your communication skills. So all that we're going to be learning today is just speech work, which entails developing our speech, our speaking skills, our communication skills, and just everything about how we send information outside, or how we communicate to people. So we will meet various aspects of oral communication. When I say oral communication, is word of mouth. Okay, so we will explore various oral communications, including public speaking, pronunciation, articulation, voice projection, and organization of spoken content. Now, in this topic, or this range of topic, we will meet various aspects, and one is pronunciation. So how do you pronounce words? If you're saying the word mother, or if you're saying the word bottle, or if you're saying the word dear, how do you pronounce these words? Okay, so we're going to be looking at pronunciation. Then after that, we look at articulation. How do you articulate this word? How do you speak these words? Do you articulate them in a proper way, the way they're supposed to be said, or you're articulating the words in wrong manner to say? Okay, so we're going to be looking at that too. And then another thing is voice projection. When you're talking, can someone hear what you're saying, or you're murmuring, or you're trying to talk in a low voice? So we're going to look at voice projection. Okay, so how you communicate, is it audible? Okay, and then lastly is organization of spoken content. You don't want people to lose themselves or lose the understanding of what you're saying. You want them to follow what you're saying, to go step by step with you. So as you speak, you make sure that people follow everything you talk about. So from the introduction, from the beginning to the middle to the end, they follow without necessarily telling you that they're confused, or you should repeat certain thing you've said. So that's the thing. Okay, so that's all about speech work. Now let's look at the various elements of speech work. What does it entail? What is this speech work? One element that I've talked about is public speaking. Here, students are required to give speeches, presentations on various topics. So here you learn how to structure your speech, use effective visual aids, and engage the audience. Now, even in the music festivals or competitions, there is the use of the public speaking, where there are contestants or students who compete with one another, or like who is the best speaker, who is the best at this type of communication. Okay, so it's called the public speaking. So here you're expected to give like a presentation, and you stand in front of an audience. They can be your fellow students or judges. So you stand in front of an audience, then you present to them, you bring your speech to them. So that is what we call public speaking. Okay, so you give a speech. A speech can be about a specific topic, or the environment, the solar system, anything you choose to talk about. Okay, so don't forget about that. So that is what we call public speaking. And I know most of you are so good at public speaking, where you're told talk about the dangers of drugs. Okay, so in your public speech, sorry, you're expected to talk about the dangers of drug, talk about what drug is, what's the types of drugs and how they affect people, so such things. So that is what we call public speaking. Then the second aspect is what we call pronunciation and articulation. Pronunciation and articulation. So I put these two together, the pronunciation and articulation, because they're one and the same thing. Because the way you pronounce words and the way you articulate words is one and the same thing. So here students are expected to work on pronouncing words clearly. And you're just not pronouncing them clearly but properly, okay? This will help you ensure that the speech is easily understood. Like I said, we want to avoid people telling you to start or repeat or they've not understood, okay? We don't want to make people not understand what you're saying. So here we check on how we are pronouncing words. Are we pronouncing these words correctly? Are we speaking these words correctly? Is it properly pronounced? Is it articulated properly? So that is what we know. It's well known as the pronunciation and articulation. So this is an element in the element in speech, okay? The next elements are voice training and speech writing. So with voice training, here we learn how to control and project our voices effectively. It's very, very important for speaking in large spaces. It's very, very important that when you're speaking to a large group of people or large spaces, you train your voice to be audible, okay? So you mind your audience, mind who you're speaking to. Are you speaking to a small crowd or a large crowd? So if it's a large crowd, you adjust your voice to a point where you're not screaming, but you're audible. So there's the difference between screaming or being loud and being audible. So being audible, you just increase your voice so that people can clearly get what you're saying. People who are far, if you're talking to a large group, okay? Then when you talk about speech writing, here you're taught how to write effectively or write effective speeches. You're given a topic or you choose a specific topic, then you create a thesis. So in my last class, again, I remember talking about a thesis and what a thesis is, okay? So a thesis is basically just, and it's a very, very important part of a sentence which gives a summary of all that you're going to be talking about. So a thesis statement can be, in my speech today, I'm going to be talking about the dangers of using drugs and drug abuse. Look at that. So, and in this, okay, let me give a good thesis statement. In my speech today, I'll be talking about the dangers of drug and drug abuse and looking at its effects and some of the effects like school dropouts, early pregnancy. You see, so in your thesis statement, it gives us a view of all that you're going to be talking about. So we know you're talking about drug abuse and its effect, and you're talking about specific effects that you've mentioned, okay? So you'll be talking about school dropout, early marriages, and such things. So that is what a thesis statement is. So you'll be taught how to write these two. You provide a topic with a creative thesis statement and then organize your ideas coherently. So you don't want to mix your ideas and just throw words, no? You want to arrange your ideas in such a way that they are easily understood and each idea fits in its own paragraph, okay? So we will learn about all this, so don't worry. The next element I will look at is listening and responding. Effective communication is a two-way process. Students learn how to actively listen to others and respond appropriately in conversations or discussions. Now, we'll teach you this too, whereby you just don't become a dominant listener. We want you to listen to your friend or listen to someone who is talking and give your advice or give your feedback. Just create a conversation, start a conversation. So this is important and we learn about this. So we want an environment where when you're communicating with people, you are able to hold conversations, talk well, speak correctly, and just articulate words in the right way, okay? So we want, when someone is giving a speech or when someone is talking, you're able to hold discussions, discuss or give your feedback on what they're talking about. So this is listening and responding. So you just don't listen and clap when someone is done. No, you want to reach out to them, start a conversation like, I loved your speech and you said something about this and this. Tell me, or can we talk about this, or I'd like to differ. Such amazing conversation. So this is something we will work on too, okay? Then the next thing is debate and argumentation. Speech work might involve teaching you guys how to engage in debates and present persuasive arguments. Now, when someone tells you maybe, let me give a good debate. For example, boarding schools are better than day schools. Look at that example, just a common example. So when you're giving a speech about maybe boarding schools being better, you have to be ready to debate and give strong arguments. So your argumentation must be a strong and valid one. You don't want to give lies or start talking and giving lies to people. No, you have to have facts and then know how to argue and then debate your point well. So we also learn about how to debate and how to engage in debates and present persuasive arguments. Not just any argument. You know, you can bring an argument and it's a lie, and it's just not the person listening to you won't believe you in the way you want them to believe. So we will teach you how to present persuasive arguments and facts too, okay? So those are the two elements again we will look at when we're learning about speech. Then the other element you have to consider is the nonverbal communication. Understanding body language and facial expression is also very, very important when you are doing something with the speech work, as it plays a very, very significant role in effective communication. You don't want to talk to people and you're standing straight. Your hands are not moving, no facial expression, nothing. You want people to feel what you're saying. You want people to follow what you're saying. So what do? You make sure that you understand your body language. If you are sad or you're talking about a sad topic, we want to see the frown in your face, the sad emotion, the sad expression on your face, okay? And if you're happy, we want to see that smile, that happy emotion. So we want to see change in expression when you're talking about a sad situation or a happy situation, okay? We want to see your hands move when you're pointing at something. When maybe you're talking about something very large, we want to see your hand show the sign of the large thing you're showing, okay? So we want to see movement. We want to see effective and correct body language. You know, there's some people who use a lot of hand movements that the audience fail to even understand what they're saying. Have you ever met people who talk and their hands are all over, so the audience keep following their hands and confuse themselves because they can't really get they can't get the link between the hands and what is being said. So people just move their hands everywhere. So we want to eliminate that too, okay? And this is all we will learn, so don't worry. Then the next thing is confidence building. This is something that is very, very important in your speeches. Building and confidence in speaking is very, very important. And many students may feel nervous when speaking in public places or speaking in public generally, okay? So we also build on this. I want you to have confidence in what you say. You see, once you have confidence in what you're saying, then it's so hard for someone to even notice you're nervous or you're afraid. So I want you to be to command your language. And commanding your language means understanding your language and feeling confidence in all the things that you're saying, okay? So if you're talking about boarding school is better, we want to see that confidence in you. We want to see how strong you believe in your points. If you're saying public schools are better, or public day schools, sorry, if you're saying day schools are better, we want to see your strong points, your confidence, and the way you trust your points. So the moment you trust yourself and you trust everything you're saying, then we can also see your confidence, and this also builds your confidence. So just to add something on this speech work, we have to understand this is a very, very important developing stage, as it helps us to develop our strong communication skills, which are very, very valuable in both academic and real world setting. These skills can help students express their ideas effectively, excel in interviews, and succeed in various social and professional situations. The moment you're good at your speech, or you're very, very good at your speech work, then even your employer will feel the confidence of giving you a certain task to do because they believe in you. So you want to create an environment where everyone believes in you. This starts from how you communicate, and that is all about speech work. You check on how you pronounce words, your confidence, okay? So there are a lot of things for you to check. You check on your pronunciation and articulation, your voice training, and audibility or being audible. Your speech writing should be perfect. Your listening and responding skill. So everything should be perfect for you to win people's hearts and their confidence, okay?